I'm just going to record and we're going to go for it. All right, so tell me, what did you think?
I can hear you. Okay. So first of all, I think that you have the most adorable kindergarten. I cannot wait to see how they progress in the next couple of weeks. And I also can't wait to see how you grow with them in the next couple of weeks. So I'm excited about that.
Same.
It just took me back to, oh my goodness, like I have 6th graders. And it's hard to remember that they were once kindergarten. But nevertheless, the rubric is very hard.
Yeah.
And I know this again because, you know, I've been in your shoes. So I completely understand. I'm trying to pull up my evaluation.
Okay.
So due to the rubric, right? And I know you were like, wow, I wasn't expecting that.
I was a little surprised, yeah.
However, yeah. What tell me, what things kind of surprised you? What like stood out the most?
See, I actually, after reading it, I agreed with the entire evaluation, just because it was how do I say this? It wasn't harsh, but it was like it was a lot of suggestions about, oh, hey, you could have done this, you could have done this, you could have done this. I think what really struck me is I'm so used to them just sitting in their chairs writing all day, because unfortunately, just Korean culture, kindergartners in their seats, they're writing most days. I think for a speaking class, I didn't have a different mentality. So when you pointed out, oh, they could have been playing with blocks, they could have, or playing with props, they could have been all up and standing, they should have been partnered differently. I was a little surprised that I hadn't myself thought of that.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes as teachers, we forget that every single thing has to be intentional, right? Yeah. And I know that we are using this as kind of like the baseline, right? Like, I know that there's some type of data that you can use as far as grouping them, or, you know, hey, this child just seems to always be on point. So how can I use them to kind of be the leader and also teach others? Because kids learn a lot, you know, by learning from one another as well. So I know that also the culture has limitations as well. And I was thinking about that as I was typing it, like, you know, as far as the connection with the family, I was like, I don't even know if like their culture is kind of like would even allow something like that, you know? I don't. And that one is kind of hard when it comes to how in the world do I connect this and collaborate with families, other than having, you know, other than having like a parent physically in your room. It's like, how do I do this? Yeah, exactly. I was really stumped on that one, so I decided I'll give it out as homework. And the parents, that's the one good news, is they're more than eager to help. It's just there's a cultural boundary here where even if they're able to talk to me, they won't. They kind of feel it's not a respectful thing, I guess, to talk to me. I don't know. It's kind of a weird thing. Gotcha. Well, there were a lot of great moments in your video. I love the use of the video. I love the use of the music, and getting them to sing and things of that nature. It kind of takes me back to, I guess, Barney and Sesame Street, those early learners, you know what I mean, and Lamb Chops. Those early learners when it comes to that age range. You know what I mean? But that's really, those things kind of stick with them. So just thinking about, the whole child when you're teaching, and not just the surface. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think the one thing you said that I really, really liked, and I like to do it, I'm not sure how to start doing it. Setting up different learning sections based on visual, audio, kinesthetic. I'm not sure how to test how they learn in that perspective. So how would I go about doing that? That's something So one thing that you can definitely do is when you are in your lesson, and I'm not sure how in your school might be, but I know in American elementary schools, you know, they have one teacher who teaches all the subjects, right? So they have math for this how much long, science for this long, English for this long. What you can do, you can just basically have some manipulatives in your math lesson and just see what child really kind of gravitates to that.
Okay.
See who picks it up the most.
Okay.
And they're usually your textile learners.
Okay.
When it comes to audio, if you say something and you say, who can repeat what I just said, they're usually the first ones to raise their hand and can verbalize exactly that to you, right?
Okay.
Those that need, you know what I mean, those who are visual need to have the pictures, need to have something written down. So it's something kind of that you pick up as you are doing your lesson, and you can kind of see what child is progressing more on those three clear directions, right? There was a point where you would give all your directions, and then they would move before the directions was over, and you'll be like, no, you know, go sit back down, you know, listen, you know, and you would finish out your directions. So just think about how can you, when you're doing your lesson, how can you script your directions where the manipulatives are intentional.
Okay.
So if it is a math lesson with adding, right?
Yeah.
You can, with your directions, it might be grab 3 blocks.
Okay.
And how many more blocks would you need to make rubric, 5? You know what I mean? Mind.
Yeah.
That used to trick me up a lot, right? I would have this lesson and I'm thinking it's great, and then it's like, it doesn't match with the rubric.
Didn't work even a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So just try to keep that in mind.
I'm actually looking up right now. What is week 2?
Second one is actually learning differences.
All right, we're good.
Did you
math
hear me?
lesson. Yeah, math lesson it is.
Yeah. So next, yep. So next week is learning differences. And again, it goes into the whole valuing students, differentiating the lesson, and really understanding the students with learning differences and needs. Tapping into the multiple perspectives as well as your English language learners. So
that's perfect.
Using what you already know about your classroom, try to regroup them in their different learning styles.
Okay.
And see if you can attack the lesson through all learning styles, and see how that might,
so much,
work in your class.
I'm gonna stop recording now.
No problem.